The King of Fighters franchise has received numerous amounts of comic book adaptations from Japan's manga series to China's manhwa series. The manhwa series is by far the longest, and today I want to concentrate on the King of Fighters 96 manhwa volumes, as they included something that no KOF fan would ever expect to see: 3 guest characters from the Tekken franchise. Since it's a manhwa series, I have no idea exactly what deal was going on to include 3 characters from Tekken into this KOF 96 manhwa. They had no introduction and only appeared once the tournament had begun. The 3 Tekken characters are Nina Williams, King, and Kazuya. Also, since this is the King of Fighters 96 and Tekken 3 released in 1997, I'm guessing these guys are fresh out of Tekken 2 since that game was released in 1995. But if that's the case, then was this done to promote the Tekken series? Hard to say, because again, they don't get an introduction, and as far as I know, I've never heard any mention of Tekken crossing over with the King of Fighters. Till today, out of all the crossover games we received, not one game has ever had KOF crossover with Tekken. So why was this never mentioned? One thing I've come to notice is that comic book adaptations from China tend to be non-canon to the main series. So no matter how good some of those stories can turn out, we can all just assume that this never happened, right? This is what happens. The tournament starts off with the Ikari team, which consists of Ralph, Clark, and Leona versus Tekken 2's King, Anna Williams, and Kazuya Mishima. They present themselves, and we see that even though the Tekken characters have a few differences in their costumes, the colors aren't correct here. Anna is wearing her default outfit, but it's supposed to be red, not light green. She also has brown hair, but here her hair color is black. Kazuya's outfit is very similar to his Tekken 2 outfit, but again, the colors aren't right. It's supposed to be purple, not black. His scarf should be red as well. And as for King, I don't think he's ever worn this type of outfit before. I mean, it comes close to his original appearances from Tekken 1 and 2, but they still got it wrong. One thing that's kinda unique is that combatants have to wear this nifty little KOF logo that detects the fighter's health and power so that it displays it on a huge screen, which is a unique surprise, but quite useless if characters always one-shot their opponents. So the first combatants are Ralph versus King. King performs a jump kick, Ralph counters with his signature throw. This does a good amount of damage to him. He gets back up and retaliates with, and I kid you not, a ki blast from his mouth. Yeah, this is something King has never done before throughout the entire Tekken series. I think this immediately goes to show you that the people that worked on this comic had no clue who King is. He himself is a wrestler, so his main attacks consist of grappling moves, and yet his first and only attack against Ralph is to perform a ki blast out of his mouth? And did I say his one and only attack here? Yeah. His ki blast has no effect on Ralph, and Ralph then performs one of his super special moves on King, which ends up knocking him out cold. The next fighter is Anna Williams, and they didn't even bother giving her a chance to perform her special moves or even a simple hit, since we only see an image of Ralph performing his other super special on her, which easily knocks her out as well. As you can see, the Tekken characters are performing at an embarrassing rate. At first I was wondering, why were they even included in this KOF tournament if they aren't even performing the correct moves, or as seen with Anna, not even given a chance to strike once. But then it's Kazuya's turn, and he easily defeats Ralph with one punch to his back. I guess they didn't want to humiliate the Tekken characters too much. Leona then becomes his next opponent. She performs a couple of her signature moves, but Kazuya dodges them in time and then strikes with a move I've never seen Kazuya perform before. He creates a dark void and then attacks Leona in midair, which knocks her out. Clark is now the only opponent left for Kazuya, but after Kazuya hands Leona's body over to Clark, he just walks away and the two of them don't even fight. I guess it doesn't really matter since I'm pretty sure Leona is stronger than Ralph and Clark, so chances are that Kazuya would have still won the fight. So the Tekken characters may not have been utilized to their full potential, but I guess neither was Leona or Clark for that matter. After this, we get Ryo Sakazaki versus Kyoku Sanagi, which has them both performing insanely powerful attacks, making this tournament look like a Dragon Ball Z fight. Iori Agami then shows up and interrupts the fight. Iori in this manhwa series is like an extremely powerful smug fella. But after he interrupts the fight, his teammates start killing off random people left and right, as well as Iori himself. Other combatants try to put a stop to this, but then Kazuya jumps in and takes on Iori by himself. Only now he transforms into Devil Kazuya. And as you'd expect, this is no longer a King of Fighters tournament. It's just another Dragon Ball Z ripoff. You have these two incredibly powerful characters creating destruction in their surroundings with every strike they create, while everyone else is just watching from below. In the end of their fight, I have no idea what's going on because Rugal shows up out of nowhere, attacks Iori, which sends him flying, and suddenly another character shows up from the sky riding like a turbo fan similar to how Tao Pai Pai flew in Dragon Ball, and then chucks it right at Iori in mid-air, and then Iori barfs out this black lightning which hits Kazuya, making him lose an arm. Moments later, Iori appears to be good as new, for some reason, after all that just happened, and then Kazuya tries one last attempt to defeat him, and Iori turns around, screams, and blows up Kazuya's other arm. Yeah. What were the writers and illustrators thinking when they came up with this, right? A lot more nonsense happens after this, but that's as much as I want to cover, seeing as that's the end of these Tekken guest characters. Seeing as this is completely out of nowhere though, as well as the fact that no one has ever spoken about this, it really leaves me wondering if the creator of Tekken, Katsuhiro Harada, had any idea about this manhwa series that included 3 Tekken characters in the middle of the KOF 96 manhwa. I know it's one of those things where it's too bad to be popular, but it's just far too bad that it needs to be mentioned. I love the illustration art, but the story and everything we see here is just complete nonsense. No KOF or Tekken fans would possibly enjoy reading this. I don't care how good the illustration art is. Perhaps this was the very first and only attempt to hint at a future crossover game of the King of Fighters cross Tekken, but clearly they could have portrayed this little crossover in a much more intriguing way. Separate KOF manhwa volumes have demonstrated to build some character development before and after a tournament. So if they wanted to introduce us to these Tekken characters, surely they could have come up with something. But seeing as they didn't even know King's moves, or even give Anna Williams a chance to shine, it just shows you that the creators of this manhwa weren't sure who these Tekken characters are. I don't see how they could get a slightly better understanding of Kazuya but not King or Anna. But anyways, the King of Fighters and Tekken are both franchises that I've grown to love because every fighter appeared to be on the same level, at least when you're playing the games. But that's clearly changed over the years since every game franchise is now trying to compete against each other to prove who's got the strongest characters. This is a topic that needs to be mentioned on its own video though. So next time I'll be talking about 2 things I believe happen to be ruining the stories to our beloved fighting games. So with that said, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button to give this video a chance to grow. I'd like to thank all my Patreon supporters for their impeccable generosity. Your support means a lot to me, and you are part of the reason why I try to make the best content that I can. And if you like this content, check out the rest of my channel. You'll find more entertainment from separate franchises I like to cover, such as Mortal Kombat, Dragon Ball Z, Celebrity Deathmatch, Men in Black, The Mask, Batman comics, The Terminator, TMNT, Dino Crises, Resident Evil, and more. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out my exclusive videos such as the Gantz content. And if you'd like to show your support, go to my Patreon and support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.